Hi, I thought I would share some interesting audio with you guys today. All of this audio was taken at a Bigfoot hotspot in Idaho. I have personally talked to the guy who's had a Class A sighting here, and I've been coming here for 4 or 5 years now, and I've had a lot of interesting things happen, and I've gotten a lot of pretty good audio. I have been recording audio for 4 years now, and I decided I need to share some of my better stuff. And what better time than right after you finish listening to it when it's fresh in your mind? I have tons of notes. I have tons of files on my computer that are just sitting there that I haven't listened to again. But if I share it in this format, I will probably listen to it, and maybe you guys can learn something and get some insight too. And I will say headphones are highly encouraged. I just listened to my selected audio on my computer speakers, and I didn't hear a lot of stuff, and I knew what I was listening for. And I have pretty high quality speakers. So if you want to get the full experience, you need to have headphones. This was recorded next to a stream, so there is a lot of stream noise in the background. Streams are where animals congregate. It's the best place. We just have to learn to live with it. It's not on a lonely mountaintop. The area is located at the end of a road, and north of the road is hundreds and hundreds of miles of nothing that actually do connect into the Frank Church Wilderness area. There is not a lot of places to camp there. The first night we were there, we had two other campers in the area, and they're spaced out. It's not like you're right next to each other. I couldn't throw a rock and hit the nearest camper. I put the recorder across the road away from all the campers in a forested area. We all went to bed, and I will say that no one heard any of this audio. We were all sleeping when this happened. But I started to hear faraway yells, and here's a couple examples of the faraway yells I heard. I'll play it twice for you. The first time will be raw and unedited, and the second time I will add some noise reduction to help try to reduce that stream noise so you can hear it a little better. Now, at 1:04 a.m., the yells are getting closer. The first unusual yell happens, and then there's a barred owl reply. Is it a barred owl? And then 17 minutes later, at 1:21 a.m., there's a deep voice, which is hard to hear, and then a knock, and then another deep voice. And then 3 minutes later, a very clear, deep voice noise. If you hear something, rewind it, listen to it again, listen to it 100 times. I recommend that. That's what I do. I'm going to repeat this 2 more times, just the noise reduction version, because I think it deserves it. And then at 2:57 a.m., 1 hour 43 minutes after the initial call, this happens, and 1 hour 34 minutes after the deep voice, this happens, and it's a call followed by a barred owl again, and this really does sound like a barred owl. Looking back as I'm making this video, I'm realizing that I'm concentrating on the owl, which the more important part is the howl prior to the owl. That's the one that is so amazing. That is the unknown, possibly Bigfoot call. I've kind of moved on and am, listening to the reply, and is that reply an actual owl? But I just wanted to make sure that you know that the first call is the important call. So this is kind of where it gets a little interesting. At 1 hour 13 minutes later than the last howl, which is 4:10 a.m., the same howling repeats. But the barred owl does not sound like a barred owl. It sounds like a barred owl imitation. So here are some actual barred owl calls that I got from online, from the Audubon Society. The first call is close, and then there's a faraway call, which is good. That way we can know what a faraway call kind of sounds like. But the one thing I've noticed with owls in particular is they have that vibration in their throat. I don't know if vibrato is the right word, but it's just like kind of it's a vibration that we don't have. So notice that, and here's their calls. So now that we have heard a actual barred owl, let's listen to that audio again, and we can see if they sound the same. I don't know if they sound the same. It sounds different to me, but I don't know. It could be, or it could not be. My only thing would be is to point out the lack of the vibration or the vibrato or whatever it is on this recording. And that is the end of night 1. And I will say that the only barred owl calls that I heard in 4 nights are the ones that are on this audio. So it's not like barred owl were going off left and right. But it isn't unusual that animals only reply to other animals, so when they call. So there's that. I mean, I don't know. So someone did move in next door, right where I had my recorder placed. So I had to move it. I moved it to the front of my camper. It's kind of interesting to know what's happening, in your camp or near your camp. So I moved the recorder, and this is night 2. So at 2:13 a.m., a very deep noise happens, or deep voice. I don't know what it is. And at 3:29 a.m., there's another deep voice. That is 1 hour, 17 minutes after the first deep voice. At 4:04 a.m., there's a scream like the night before. But the funny thing is that the barred owl kind of fades off at the end and doesn't finish its call. And I don't know if I can hear something at the end or not, but here's that. So my notes got a little messed up. I have on my notes at 4:10 a.m. deep voice / sounds like 2 taps on the recorder. The deep voice isn't right before the 2 taps, but it is close. It's a little ways before. So here is that, and I've repeated the deep voice 3 times, and the 2 taps on the recorder I just played once. So that's pretty much the end of night 2. And then night 3, a whole bunch of people moved in. The busiest I've ever seen it. There was a fire that was nearby, which burned through a lot of area. So this was one of the few areas that didn't get burnt. So everybody came here and camped. So there was tons of people. There was no crazy howls after that, no barred owls. And I moved the recorder. I moved it from the front of the trailer to the back of the trailer, which moved it closer to the stream, which increased the stream noise. But on the other hand, I did come up with some interesting findings, I think. I heard water noises, which I hadn't really heard before because I try to put my recorder away from the river. Therefore, the river background noise doesn't affect it quite as much. But I heard something moving in the water, something definitely moving through the water. Here's a really good example of the water. Here's something in the water accompanied with some deep voice noises. I forgot to mention that was at 3:48 a.m. This next one is at 3:56 a.m. And there's some deep rumblings going on, water splash, and then a hand clap. There isn't really any beavers in this area. I suppose it could be an otter of some sort, but it does sound like a hand clap to me. Unfortunately, that was about the most exciting thing that happened on night 3. And night 4 was super quiet, which I guess makes sense because of so many people that had moved in. But yeah, there was nothing that was even closely resembling to post. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. I will be starting a new channel called Silent Giants, and that's where I'll be posting most of my Bigfoot stuff. I won't be posting it on my personal channel. That way, if you're only interested in Bigfoot stuff and not my personal life, that will be the channel. And I don't know if I'm going to be posting many more Bigfoot stuff on this channel, so please subscribe. I have many more things I would like to share. Like I said, 4 years worth of audio recording, and I need to start sharing it. I've got videos, I've got pictures, I've got a lot of things rattling around in my head that I need to get out. There's actually some more in-depth audio that I was thinking about posting about this 5-day trip. You definitely need to have good headphones to hear what I'm talking about. So I realize it's a limited audience. But I may post that, and it would definitely be on my other channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to post that or not. If you listened this far, thank you for following me for 17 minutes. I realize it's a little long. I will try to make them a little shorter in the future, or at least put the audio at the front and then explanation at the end. That way, if you only want to hear the audio, then you can hear that. But if you want to hear the explanation, you can watch longer. But hey, have a great day.